In this example, we'll explore the rate of change, which is a measurement of how one quantity changes relative to another quantity. The example we're going to look at has data, and it's given in a table, and it's also given in graphical form. We have Table 1 and Figure 1 showing rates of, or quantities of incidence of invasive cancer reported in Oregon, and it goes from 1999 to 2013. So our input here is the year, and then we're looking at what the number of incidents of cancer was for that given year. So the table is going to show really specific numbers, which is helpful in calculations. This Figure 1 is going to give it in graphical form, which gives us a general understanding of what happens over time. It gives us this visual idea. So if we look at our first question here, we're going to be asked to compare what happens. So here we're given state the data values for 1999 and 2000, and then we're asked how did the number of incidents change over the course of this year. So if we look at these values, I'm going to first look at this figure. So I can see 2000 pretty easily. I'm looking at the year, and if I trace up, I can see this data point. And so that's the year 2000. And then I don't really know the Y value specifically based on the graph. I know it's something between 17,000 and 18,000 for the number of incidents in that year. And then if I go over one, this is 1999 right here. To the left of that other point, it's left and up, I can see. And so that's 1999. And again, I don't know that value exactly. One thing I can note based on this graph, though, is that these number of incidents were higher in 1999 than they were in 2000. So I can see visually that they went down from 1999 to 2000. And if I come over to my table, I can see that in 1999 the number of incidents was 17,599, and then in 2000 the number of incidents was 17,446. So those are the numbers that I'll use to calculate what happened over the course of that year. So I'm going to come down to part A here and stating the data values. So for 1999, the number of incidents I have is 17,599, and for 2000, the number of incidents was 17,446. So if I look at how it changed, I'm going to take that value in 2000, which was 17,446, and subtract the value that I had in 1999, which is 17,599. And when I do that, I'll get negative 153. So that negative is telling me that over the course of that year, the total number, or the number of incidents, went down. So if I summarize that, from 1999 to 2000, the number of invasive cancer incidents decreased by 153. And I know it was a decrease. First, I knew that based on the visual of my graph, but then this negative number is showing me that there were fewer in 2000 than there were in 1999. The next thing we're going to look at is Part B here. And Part B asks us to state the data values for 1999 and 2009. And then we're asked, how did the number of incidents change over the course of these 10 years? So now we're looking at a greater length of time. So if we come back up to our figure in our table, we're going to look at 1999 and 2009. So we've already looked at 1999. Let's also now point out where 2009 is. And if I go to 2010, in that figure I can go one to the left and see that should be 2009. So that's 2009. And then again, some unknown number of incidents. If I look to the left, I can see it's roughly 20,000 in number of counts. All right, so coming down now, Let's take the numbers out of our table. So 2009, that's 19,909, which matches what I read off of that figure. And I'll use that in my calculation then. So first I'll state those data values. And so for 1999, I had that one before, 17,599. And for 2009, I had 19,909. And if I look at that change, I can take 19,909 and subtract 17,599. And I'll get 2,310. So the total change over the course of those years was 2,310. Now if I consider that that was over the course of 10 years and I want to look at that average change, the average over 10 years would be that 2,310 divided by 10, since there were 10 years, which would be 231. So on average, the increase was 231 each year. So I'll summarize that up. From 1999 to 2009, the number of cancer incidents increased by 2,310, which is an average of 231 per year.